Whether you've just got your first guitar, are thinking about taking lessons, or you want to try one out in a store and you're not really sure what to do, this is a quick beginner's guide on how to use an electric guitar. By the end of this video, you'll be able to hold your guitar properly, plug it into an amp, get a good sound, tune it, and even play your first chord. And if you want to dive deeper into anything that I'm covering today, I've linked videos in the description that explain each topic in more detail. So the first thing is learning how to hold your guitar. And like anything that I'm going to cover today, this might feel a little bit weird at first, and that's completely normal. Everyone feels that way. But eventually it will become second nature to you. So first you want the guitar the correct way up, which is always good. And that means having the front of the guitar facing away from you and these thicker strings at the top. So sit upright but comfortable, bring the guitar in contact with your body, and then rest it on the same leg as your strumming hand. So this is a right-handed guitar, which means that I strum with my right hand. So when I'm playing, I rest it on my right leg. Now that's the standard playing position, but if after some time that still feels uncomfortable and it doesn't work for you, then you can try the classical position, which just means resting it on the other leg and then tilting it up slightly. Whichever way you play, your guitar should sit comfortably on your lap without dropping down. You shouldn't need to lift any weight with your fretting hand. If your neck does drop without support, then just shift it ever so slightly across your leg until it's nice and balanced. Then rest your strumming arm over the front of your guitar's body. You don't need to hold it tight in place. Just resting lightly is enough pressure to stop it from moving. You also want your guitar sitting at a slight angle away from your body because that's going to make it more comfortable to play. A good way to find that angle is to hold the guitar neck at the top, bring it back towards your body, and then just relax your arm until you find that nice, comfortable position. If you want to play standing up, then you'll need a guitar strap. Your guitar will have two strap buttons on the body, one at the bottom and then one towards the top. And your strap will have a hole at either end. Just attach one end to one strap button and the other to the other. You can also get these things called strap locks, which stop your guitar strap from falling off, and they're really good to have. Now you need to connect your guitar to an amplifier, otherwise you're not really going to be able to hear it properly. I use amp software instead of a physical amp, but the controls work exactly the same as your amp. So take a guitar cable like this and connect one end to your guitar's output jack, another one to your amp's input. It doesn't matter which end goes where, even if they look slightly different, you can use a guitar cable any way around. A quick warning though, I really recommend turning off your guitar amp before you plug it in, otherwise you're going to get sounds like this. And that doesn't damage your guitar or your amplifier, and it's not dangerous. It's just really annoying. I also recommend turning your amp's master volume down before turning it on as well, so you don't get any loud surprises. Once everything's plugged in, turn the amp on and make sure the volume knob on your guitar is turned up. Then slowly increase the volume on your amp until you reach a level that's comfortable for you. Now we're going to dial in our amp's sound, and generally speaking, there's two types of sound: clean and distorted. Obviously there's a wide range of sounds that you can get from your guitar amp, but most will generally fall under those two broad categories. And the main control for that is usually the gain knob. For a clean sound, keep the gain low. Now this might make your amp a little bit quieter, so you might have to turn up your amp's volume just a little bit to balance it. For a distorted sound, turn up the gain until you start to get that crunchy sound. Now some amps might have a button that says OD or drive or something like that to turn on the drive on your amp. If you're not sure, double check your amp's manual or just give it a quick search online. Now using more gain will make your amp buzz more. A little bit of buzz is normal, but if the buzz starts to overtake your sound, then just try dropping the gain a little bit. Also, nearby electronics and even lights can cause buzz, so if you're not using something, just try turning it off and seeing if that helps too. Your amp will also have equalization or EQ controls, and these just help us refine the tone a little bit more. A really simple way to think about them is bass adds some warmth and thickness, middle adds some fullness and body, and treble adds that brightness. Your amp might just have a tone knob instead of those three controls. If it does, turning it down will sound bassier and turning it up will sound brighter. Now all these controls are completely set to taste, there's no one right setting, but a good place to start is set the bass just below halfway, set the middle just above halfway, and then set the treble just above that. Your guitar's onboard controls are also really powerful EQ tools, and a lot of guitarists overlook them. Now, I'm not going to go fully into it here because I do have a separate video on that, but it is worth talking about our pickup selector. Now, that switch controls which pickup is on, and the pickups are the things underneath your guitar strings, and they have different sounds. Again, generally speaking, the neck pickup is warmer and smoother sounding than the bridge pickup, which is quite bright and cutting. So it's good to experiment with those and see what different sounds you can get. So by this point, you've got your guitar, you're plugged in, and you're ready to play. But first you're going to want to tune, because otherwise it's going to sound bad. So from the thickest to thinnest strings, we've got E, A, D, G, B, and E. Because there's two E strings, we call the thicker one the low E, and the thinner one high E. And each string is connected to its own tuning peg up here. Turning these pegs either loosens or tightens the string. Tightening it raises the pitch, and loosening it lowers the pitch. To tune your guitar, you can plug it into a device like a tuning pedal, use a tuning app, or tune it by ear using a reference pitch. Learning to tune from a reference pitch is a really good skill to have, and I definitely recommend trying it. But using a tuning app or a tuning pedal is definitely a lot easier, and it's usually more accurate as well. When you're tuning, you only need to turn the tuning peg a little bit at a time, unless it's really out of tune. If you're not sure which way to turn it, just try plucking the string and then turning it gently in one direction and listen to whether it gets higher or lower in pitch. And there's one thing that I've seen a lot of beginners worry about, and actually it's something that I thought when I first started, but it's just not true. These tuners at the top, they don't need to be in a particular line or a shape or anything like that. This layout is completely random. The only thing that matters is that the string is in tune. Also, your strings will naturally go out of tune over time. That's completely normal, especially if you've just put new strings on, because they take a little bit of time to settle in. So it's a really good idea before you play to tune up every time. Now, when it comes to playing, most guitarists use a guitar pick. And these come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. And honestly, the one that you use depends entirely on personal preference. So I always recommend buying a small variety pack of picks so you can try out a bunch of different types before buying a bunch of one kind. And you hold the pick between your thumb and forefinger when you're playing. To grip it, curl your fingers slightly, place the pick against the side of your index finger, then hold it in place with your thumb. You only need a little bit of pressure to stop it moving. And you only need the tip of the pick pointing out when you're playing. That's going to be enough to catch the strings, and it gives you more control when you play. Like I said earlier, this is going to feel weird and awkward at first. I remember it felt really strange for me, but eventually it does become second nature. And if you drop your pick, welcome to the club. Bonus points if you lose it as well. So now you're finally ready to play, and we're going to start off with what's called a power chord. Now, power chords are used all the time in modern guitar music, especially in rock and metal, and they're great for beginners because they're really simple to play and they sound really good as well. So first, I'm going to number our fingers. We're going to ignore our thumb, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm also going to number these gaps here. Now, this whole thing is called the fretboard, but these gaps are called frets. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So to play our power chord, we're going to put the pad of our thumb behind the neck, and we're going to put the tip of our first finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string. Then we're going to put our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A string, again, just using the tip. Then we're going to put our 4th finger just beneath that on the 5th fret of the D string. And make sure that your fingers are closer to this end of the fret, because if they're too far back, then it sounds a bit messy and a bit buzzy. Now we're just going to squeeze the neck gently with our fingers and thumb, and that will help these notes to ring out when we play them. Now all we have to do is just strum those 3 lower strings. Now this might sound a bit messy at first, or the other strings might ring out. That's completely normal. It's going to take a little bit of time to get that nice and clear sound. One trick is to use a wrist motion when you're picking rather than using your whole arm. Again, if you want a bit of a deeper dive around power chords or just traditional guitar chords, I've got more videos linked in the description below. So that's the really basics of using an electric guitar. Now, if I was learning again for the first First thing I'd do is get really comfortable and really familiar with everything that I've just covered in that video. Then I would pair two things together. First, I would learn a really simple guitar riff, which is like the main tune of a song, and I've got a very beginner-friendly video on that here. Second, and alongside that, I would learn how to read guitar tab, because that's going to teach you how to read these songs and help you learn songs in future. And I've got another video on that here. So good luck with your guitar journey. I really hope that this was a useful first step for you. And hopefully I'll see you in some other videos soon.